Are these two Rolex watches too similar to each other to have both? Should the newest model always crowd out the older version? Is there room for both? Can both of these complement each other, and can one compensate for the weakness of the other? I'll get into the strengths and positives of each of these classic dive watches. The 41mm Submariner 124060 was released in 2020, and it's the final expression of 70 years of refinement by Rolex. Persistent but glacially slow refinement over the years. The design language is the same, but the case size has consistently gotten larger. The dial elements have also grown and become more legible. The bezel mechanics have become even crisper, ceramic has replaced aluminum, and the movement has been developed to be even more precise and durable. The solid link bracelet is even more robust and tight, and the glide lock clasp offers an infinite internal micro adjustment. But all of these advancements put together may have resulted in a clinical watch, almost a sterile watch, like something grown in a technical, computerized robotic lab, not something assembled by a watchmaker. The bezel will always look new, the dial will not corrode, and the lume will not patina. The movement will keep on ticking, and the bracelet will not fail in my lifetime. To be honest, most of the time, that's exactly what I'm hoping for when I put on a Rolex steel sports watch. Like going to a chain restaurant, you go in knowing what to expect, and a very low chance of disappointment. But with all the modern advancements of the Rolex Submariner, you can lose some character, some of the individualization, maybe losing some personality to the watch. And this is where the 16610 comes in. I went back to look at my original receipt, and this was purchased in 2007. Making it over 17 years old. I put down a deposit at the AD, and this watch arrived about 4 weeks later. This is just before the switch over to the Supercase and Maxi dial, so it still has the old design, dating back to the 80s and 90s. Aluminum bezel, narrow lugs and crown guards, small hour markers, and thinner hands. The newer 41mm Submariner wears too large on my wrist, but this 16610 feels much more manageable. It feels smaller and lighter and more nimble. It has the vintage design without being delicate. It can still go underwater and be worn as a daily watch. The bezel action has become stiff over time and more difficult to use, but I love that big crown on the side and how it makes the watch so easy to set. The hollow center links makes the bracelet feel less robust, but that's partially balanced out with a thicker clasp, which houses the dive watch extension. But since I've had this watch with me for so long, it feels much more personal to me, much more connected to me. So yes, these two watches do balance out each other and complement each other. The 124060 is ultra modern and will last another lifetime. Technically, it's the peak Rolex, and the lack of the date window gives it a perfect symmetry and a clean dial. If I could go back, I would also get the 14060 without the date instead of the 16610. The 16610 has more character and personality, and the smaller case size is more suited to my wrist. And that's why both of these sit side by side in the collection. The modern Rolex Submariner is dependable and technically superior in almost every way. But the almost vintage 16610 feels some more nostalgic and it feels more precious to me.